I was curious, too, if you look at the teams that got all the primetime games last year, and the system's changing this year, so teams are not required to get any primetime games at all. So, like, Arizona will probably drop out completely. Right. But last year, the 49ers, they'll still get – I'm going to go through these. They'll definitely get 5. I think they're second favorite overall in the whole league.
I know, which is crazy because their quarterback situation is bananas right now.
They won 10 in a row last year with Brock Purdy and Jimmy G.
I know, but Brock Purdy, they don't even have Brock Purdy right now.
I mean, they're in the NFC. They're going to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so it's 49ers.
49ers for sure. Now, here's one. Will the Packers drop off?
That's a great question because the Packers are an institution.
Yeah.
I don't know if it matters who's playing quarterback for the Packers. They still are a draw.
Well, you don't know that because we've seen Brett Favre going into Aaron Rodgers. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, I know. I don't have a memory of like the Packers.
Don Majkowski.
With the Magic Man.
I think that's a potential drop-off. I think the Broncos at 5. That is not as big.
Broncos are out.
That's not as big a drop-off as you might think. I mean, look at all the attention. Russell Wilson and Sean Payton were courtside last night.
The Nuggets,
they went sort of viral.
Yep.
There was Mr. Sean Payton is really selling something, Russell, very important, and it went viral. Everyone's like, do I capture this? I think there's a lot of interest.
Do you want another
5 is a lot, but I think the Broncos are definitely a primetime level team. Then you got.
I think the Broncos are not getting the max primetime.
Max, but they're okay. Probably because the league is mad.
No one trusts them anymore.
The league is mad at them from last year. Yeah. The Bengals, yes. The Bucks, definitely not. So they're out.
Bucks are going to be off.
The Bills, definitely yes. They're very popular.
Yep.
I mean, you see Josh Allen. This helps the Bills' popularity, having them in opener. Chargers, that's what I was very curious about. Do they get a lot of love?
I tend to think so. I think even though the fan base for the Chargers has been through the ringer.
Yeah.
They didn't deserve that at all. They still are in L.A. Maybe they feel like that's the big market. I think, honestly, the one knock against them is they blew that 27-0 lead in the playoffs. I mean, does that make you want to watch them more or less? I don't know.
I'd say there are a few knocks against them. Try every other playoff game they've ever had.
New England just added.
Here's a good one. New England Patriots. Is the league going to tie? They were not a playoff team last year. They added an offensive coordinator, but they didn't add a lot of talent.
Juju Smith-Schuster. Is Belichick enough to be a draw? I mean, they gave him a game in Frankfurt against the Colts. Is that a reward?
Rams are definitely out. I think they're out. I mean, the Steelers will still get 5. The Cowboys will get 5. The Eagles will definitely get 5. And the Chiefs will get 5. So there's got to be... I'm not sure if any of these teams are out.
I think the Jets are now in.
The Jets are in, so they'll replace somebody. They'll replace the Bucs
or something. Yep.
Then who else is in?
I mean, Stu, don't the Raiders usually get some primetime games because the fan base is so
They get
so
some,
big?
but usually not 5. Usually it's like 3 or 4. They're like right under that max.
You know who's going to get a lot? I bet the Lions are going to get some. Of course, they always get the Thanksgiving. But people like the Lions right now. And the New York Giants might be another one. Carlos, your Giants.
Giants will sneak in because they made the playoffs last year. I don't know about the Lions.
Seahawks, maybe?
I think the Dolphins, I noticed the Dolphins are not on this list. They'll be a big candidate. Seahawks, I think, are borderline. If you're putting the Seahawks in, you're putting pretty much every playoff team in.
Now we're just naming every team in the league. But did you know? What about Lamar? Lamar's a draw. What about the Ravens?
You know, it's funny. The Ravens, they had the same Lamar last year, and they did not get 5. So would you put 5 now? That's a really good question. The one for sure is Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. But I think you're right. I think the Giants will jump in there, too. The Giants are part of this and that. They got the Eagles. The Eagles.
On Christmas.
The fact that they put that on Christmas and made a big deal of it means the Giants are a big deal. So I'm very curious when the schedule release. We're going to have a spokesperson for the NFL who actually went to my high school.
Yeah,
was my friend coming on Friday.
Came to our Maggie and Perloff Super Bowl party.
Are you gonna call him out on the clear anti-Bills bias?
I mean, finally, I get to have someone from the league on the show. I can ask him every question and put him through the ringer.
Has the Bills ever been screwed in any other way? What? I remember DeMar Hamlin was very complicated.
No, that was totally different. And actually, you could argue that really the Bengals got a little more screwed by that than the Bills.
The Bills are not a traditionally get screwed team like the Saints. Everybody.
Well, are we talking about on the field or off the field?
The same thing. Well, yeah, that's their fault, though, right?
They've screwed themselves many times.
I mean, the league seems to not like the New Orleans Saints. There's a lot of smoke there.
New Orleans Saints fans definitely have
serious
gripes.
beef.
Yeah,
Buffalo, I don't feel like has a legitimate gripe. Everything is on you guys. But this is not enough. This is not enough. The fact that the Jags get an extra week off, I mean, come on. They should beat the Jaguars in London. Why can't they?
No, you can never predict what's going to happen in London. And those are the games. So I have like a couple gambling rules that I try to abide by during the season. I never bet on the Falcons at all.
Yeah,
I've
by
been
the way,
burned so many times. Thank you. I don't bet on them to win, lose, like nothing. Overs, unders, nothing with the Falcons. And I never bet on any of the international games. It's just like you're asking for it to me. I can never pick these games. So I've taken them off of my personal list.
I saw Atlanta is only a 4-point dog. I think it even opened at 3.5 in Jacksonville or against Jacksonville. So wait, Atlanta and Jacksonville are within 4 points of each other. Is Atlanta going to be good this year?
In London, when all
Atlanta
bets are
spent
off.
a lot of money. They got a lot of people in there. So I don't know if they're going to be good, but they're going to be better than they were last year.
Yeah, that's a really interesting team.
Well, the question is Desmond Ridder going to be good?
He might be okay. I mean, listen, they have 8 running backs. Why is he going to have to do anything?
Well, Bijan Robinson was already the favorite for Rookie of the Year, right?
I would think so, right? And then you got Tyler Algier. That's it. Anyway, I think your rule about not betting on the Falcons is a smart one because who knows what's happening there. So wait, here's another question. Tottenham Hotspur is a newer stadium, so the turf should be better. So I think you're going to have a more even match. I think the Bills are going to be fine here, Maggie. I think you have nothing to worry about.
There's something about this that just feels like you're jinxing it. I don't know.
You don't think the Jacksonville players are going to be homesick for being gone for so long?
Yeah. I mean,
no,
imagine
you guys have been talking about how you love watching football so you don't have to talk to your families on the holidays.
Like, imagine 7 days of eating fish and chips. Like, I'm sure
the food is so awful in London. That's a great point. They're all going to be sick to their stomach. I think it's advantage Bills.
I know. I think they're going to be like, having fun. London's a pretty cool city.
Right. Instead of working on practice, they're going to be on that gigantic Ferris wheel that's over the river. They're going to be seeing Big Ben. Going to be drinking
shopping
Guinness.
At Harrods. No,
the more you talk about this, I'm taking Buffalo by like 20. Like,
you guys crazy?
They're going to be, first of all, they're going to be think it's soccer. They're going to be so British at that point. 2 straight weeks. They're not going to know what's happening.
No, watch.
I don't
Ted
know.
Lasso's going to come. He's going to give him some kind of pep talk. Who knows?
Wait, Ted Lasso, first of all, lives most of the year in America, and he can talk to them anytime.
Ted Lasso will be there. If the game's on NBC, Ted Lasso's going to be there. Right? Wasn't it NBC? No, it's Apple Plus. Yeah. I'm sorry. So he's up for grabs. So, he'll definitely be there.
Because the Premier League was on NBC.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I think Rebecca Lowe does make it.
The original Ted Lasso, that character started from
NBC.
A commercial. Yeah.
On NBC. No, you're right.
Yeah.
So there are a bunch of London games. Ted Lasso can't be at all of them.
Just watch them. They do another season of that, by the way?
Is your head going to explode if they do an All-Europe League and then Buffalo has to play those teams?
This All-Europe League...
It's a Florio special. Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, keeps saying it's going to happen.
Listen, Mike's plugged in. He's talking to a lot of people in the league. I just don't see how this... Okay, so you're going to have 4 teams. You're going to start a new division that plays them in Europe. It just feels like you are disrupting so much. Like if you're a Seattle Seahawks and got to fly over and back, and I know your bye week, you'll get like your bye week after it. But think about what else the NFL is doing. They're giving multiple teams can have multiple Thursday night games. They basically play football games every night of the week. How are you going to make sure that guys have enough time off to keep dudes healthy enough so that we can still see the stars playing every week? Like they already have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a huge disadvantage. Say that they had to spend 2 weeks in London. How are they supposed to compete if that was the case?
It's such an advantage.
It's such a disadvantage. Anyway, this is so silly. I love it. This little debate encapsulates our show because you see the schedule release come out and you're like, oh my gosh, the Bills are screwed. We're dead. It's all falling apart. I see that the Eagles are playing the Giants on Christmas, and I'm already tweeting every Giants fan I know, we're going to beat you 45-7 on Christmas.
Your team went to the Super Bowl last year and mine didn't.
Oh, come on. No, you are a glass half empty football fan. I am a glass half full football fan. So I see the schedule release as a reason to talk trash. You see it as, oh man, they're screwing us again.
How about this? If the Bills in my lifetime, knock on wood, win a Super Bowl, I will become a happy, a positive fan.
I think you deserve it. You've suffered enough.
Thank you.
How about, can we do just a massive show bet right now on that Bills-Jags game, which is really the Maggie and Perloff Super Bowl?
No. I do not bet on international games. It's against my rules.
I'm telling you right now that game, I cannot wait. I hope Buffalo wins that game 47-3.
They won't.
And then I'm going to laugh
those
so
games
hard.
47-3. Those games are always crazy.
No team has ever had a week there before playing the game.
I know.
So
she's well aware of that. Yeah, she's already. I saw her
made
looking
multiple
at
requests to the league.
I saw her looking at different standard time clock and
I've already penned a strongly worded letter to Goodell.
But then again, if the Jags win that game, then you have a written-in excuse.